Hey guys, it's Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today we're going to take a video of a H&H 20-foot EX. That is their steel frame power tilt. Shown here is a 20-foot, 10,000 pound. It's got a couple options on, second toolbox, and then it's got the tread plate floor. One of the more common trailers, either this and a wood floor or the steel tread plate. Wanted to try to give you an idea of what it will load. We get people all the time that'll say, hey, can I load this car or that car? We have a stock 2023 Corvette Stingray, not the Z06, does not have Z51 with your front spoiler. This is bone stock. So we just wanted to see if it will load this particular unit on here, because that's about as low of a vehicle. There's some other lower stuff, but as far as a stock vehicle, it sits pretty low. It's not your typical, Honda Civic or whatnot. So wanted to see how low of a vehicle we can get. Now, this trailer is going to be somewhere around 11 and a half degree angle on a 20-foot 10K. Now, one thing you got to understand on a tilt trailer, you've only got to clear the front spoiler. We don't got to worry about headers. Once we get the front up on, we're golden. Unlike a regular traditional pull-out ramp car hauler, you may have a car hauler with the same angle but not be able to load it because you're going to catch the headers at the top of the dovetail. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So we're going to try it without cribbing, see if it goes. And it is tight. So we got within about 5-6 inches, but it's not going to go. John, you want to get cribbing? So we're going to try it with just a 2x6. So we've tried a few trailers, and our two lowest, our quick load, it made it up without any modification. The Bear Track is a aluminum gravity tilt, very low trailer. It did take 2x6s to get it up on. This one, I think with the 2xs will probably go. Let's give it a try and see what happens. Now that said, we tried this same version trailer in the aluminum frame, which has an 8-inch frame and a 6-inch tongue. This is a 6-inch frame and a 5-inch tongue. So curious to see how that 3-inch, how big a difference that 3 inches is gonna make. It is gonna make it. I'd go ahead and try it, John. We're good, I think. So it made it. 1 2x6 is all it took. So the quick answer is, if you want no cribbing, no hassle, no anything, this ain't gonna work for you. You could go to a 22-foot. Every 2-foot lengthwise is gonna lower you about an inch, or I'm sorry, about a degree and a quarter. If you go to drop axles, which would be kind of unusual on this trailer, but available, if you go to drop axles, you're gonna lose about 2 to 2.5 degrees, okay? So something else I wanted to check on this, we specifically don't do removable fenders. Now some people say, well, why wouldn't you? Can you unlock that for me? Some would say, why wouldn't you? Well, the answer is, this car would barely go up on and the door will still open. So why do we need removable fenders? Unless there's something for side loading a skid or similar, the car won't go without cribbing, but yet the door will still open. So again, just because some trailers have removable fenders doesn't mean all do. It's going to depend. Your fender heights on trailers are going to vary from about 5 to, I've seen as high as 13 inches. This particular one is pretty ideal because it gets you a fairly low angle, but with the 5-inch tongue, 6-inch frame, the way it hits, you've got probably a 7-inch fender reveal. That door probably is opening at maybe 8.5 inches. So not needed on this particular trailer. If it was a 5-inch frame and you had another inch of reveal, might be a little bit different story. So again, we do stock this in different configurations. The 20-foot 10K is very common in both the wood and the steel floor. The angle for those will be the same. Show you one more time. Doesn't clear by much, but it clears. And I did not hear it scrape at all. To show you a little bit more on the trailer now that you know what it will and won't load, since we're near the back of the trailer, one thing I do like is how it knife edges. You'll see the slimline LED lights, gives it a nice clean look. Stop, turn, tails to the outside center marker. Got banjo eyes in the center. You've got D-rings and stake pockets for tie downs. Again, weld-on fender as mentioned. Now this is a black powder coat, and it's got matching black wagon wheels. It's a 6 lug, so we know it's a 10K. It's got a support for your fender prop. It is a full wrap tongue, so sometimes on car hauler tilts, which is what we call this, a car hauler tilt, we would call a forward hinge. You've got a tongue and a main frame. This would have underframe bridging, which isn't always there on car hauler style tilts. Now this is a different style tilt than an equipment tilt. Equipment tilt, you're gonna have your hinge point farther back, and it's gonna be a 3-frame tilt. So this has basically your main frame and a tongue. The equipment style tilts are gonna generally have a nestled bed frame. They are also a fairly low angle. The difference primarily would be this one is ideal for loading cars. As you just seen, it will load most cars due to the fender height and the rear load angle height. The gravity tilts, which we list under our equipment section, are designed for equipment. They have drop axles, which is how they get their angle, and they have about a 12, 13 inch fender reveal, which makes them good for equipment, not good for cars. You would have never got that door open, and even with removable fenders, it would have been close whether you'd have got it open. So this car hauler tilt, if you hear us call it a car hauler tilt, it's this style, 2-frame tilt, and it's gonna have your brake point up front, not the 3-frame gravity tilt with your pivot point farther back. One of the other differences, this tongue mainframe separate. You're gonna support from the rear of the trailer to the rear axle and your coupler. You're gonna pull up a little bit on your front axle. So again, car hauler style tilt. This would be the H&H EX model. EX would refer to steel frame. The EXA would be the power tilt in the aluminum. Now this is also offered in the MX, which is the manual tilt model. Keep the manual tilt in an 18-foot 7K and a 20-foot 10K. The power tilt shown here we do in the same 18-foot 7K, 20-foot 10K, and then we also do some 22-foot lengths in 10 and 14K as well. It is available with a handful of different options. You can get colors. On ours, a lot of times we'll do a second toolbox. So you've got one with the hydraulics, and then you've got a second box that's open. One nice thing we like is a cylinder placement. We've had some that put them underneath, and they work well too, with the exception of if you get an imbalance load or a heavy load. One that comes to mind, I had a customer once that had a truck without a bed. It was, I don't know, a junkyard truck or a repo, or I don't know if it was a cab chassis or just missing the bed. I think it had the bed busted up and they pulled it off. But it was a diesel truck. They had it pulled all the way up, and he said it was an undermount piston, different manufacturer trailer, and they couldn't get it up. And the problem was they were at max capacity. They were way tongue heavy, didn't have much at the back to help offset it. And that was one of probably 2 or 3 experiences. With the front tilt, I've never had anybody say they couldn't do what the trailer was designed to do, so we do like that. That would be one little detail. I also like how they hinge it on these. If you look, it's got a nice heavy hinge. It's hinged inside and out, not just from the outside. I've seen plenty do that. It is a structural channel cross member. A lot of trailers you'll see an angle iron cross member on car haulers, and it is powder coated. You got your bullet LED lights. If you have any questions on this or any of our other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com. Thanks for looking.